specifically asking our
napping.
neighborhood klutz. Anybody dealing with limitations? I know we're coming off of vacation. I know we weren't all like resting, but certainly maybe not training the same amount depending on what family obligations were. So any limitations for anyone right now physically?
Knocking on wood.
Okay, cool. Make you good to do stuff, all the things. Okay, cool. If it's not, it's feeling weird, that goes for everybody. Let's regroup and check in, right? Or give me a big old obvious one of these, and then we'll figure it out. Good morning, Joseph Big Toe. Just Big Toe. So we have some kind of, well, I'll post the workout. I'm just staring at it. Sorry, guys. I'm only 2 sips into my coffee. So here we are. So we have 3 sets of 20 alternating Kossak squats. That's kind of that lateral squatting shape that we've played with. Or you can think like almost, yeah, lateral squatting shape. We'll review that again if it's been a couple of weeks. And then that's basically 10 per side. So you're just going to count each direction as 1, 2, 3, 4 until you get to 20. Followed by 10 wide stance inchworms. So part stretch, kind of part warm up. Then the wide stance just kind of gets the outside of the legs and the lateral part of the hip, maybe your butt warmed up a little bit. Okay. Part B, we have 3 times through 8 to 10 reps, and this gives you some options here depending on your weight choices and fatigue, of single arm dumbbell or kettlebell floor press, depending on the weight you have available. I did write for my glute bridge position as an option. If that feels inappropriate, just keep your back flat on the floor and your hips down. And then 8 per side because I wrote it and didn't edit it. Side plank rotations. So we've done these before. Again, we'll review them again. It's a little bit of this guy, a little under the armpit lat piece slash core piece. And then we're going to finish off with 4 to 5 rounds. We'll see how it feels. We're going to 30 seconds of work, 30 seconds of rest, alternating between a bit of core stuff. So alternating V-up, Supermans, and hollow holds. Feel okay about this choice? Cool. Let's start with some cat cows. We're going to roll into a tabletop position. I'm going to keep all my layers on because my house is a refrigerator, but I'll try and take my layers off as you warm up. So Meg, we used to have snow in Boston, but our car was very short. So we just...
Oh, yeah, no.
There was no climbing a ladder.
Then you're just an asshole.
No, we did do that.
Anything giants, I got the giant long stick, and anything the giant long stick reaches, I get.
That's fair. That's a reason.
I just drive around my neighborhood until it's all off.
Okay.
Dude, they don't even plow my street. We live on a street that is not plowed. Sometimes Rob takes his tiny car in a snowstorm and goes parks it on the main road because then that gets plowed.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like your mom. Just kidding. That's a joke.
You get to edit this. That's all you. We're doing 10 of these. Followed by alternating bird dog. So extend your opposite arm, opposite leg. Okay. With the foot up as a bonus. Again, with your 10 of these, don't matter how fast you go. Imagine there's a glass of water in your low back. I mean, pick a leg up. You don't want that glass of water to spill. It's okay if it does. You just rather not. Okay. Stay in the tabletop position, get some spinal rotation. So reaching your hand towards the ceiling, breathing in. As you exhale, I'm gonna put my hand through this gap between my wrist and my elbow. Let's do this 3 to 5 times. 3 to 5 reps, depending on what's feeling good. I'm gonna go for 3. You guys can do 5, that's okay. Switching sides. Good. When you're ready, go ahead and have a seat. I know we're doing a lot of the 90s, these guys, Maxine. So we're gonna have our feet, I don't know, shoulder hip width apart, drop the leg up to one side, maybe. Just kind of. This might be a hard no for you, Meg. It's okay if it's you don't do this one at all.
I can do these, it's just the transitions I have to be mindful of.
Okay.
If I go slamming back and forth.
I mean, in general, that's not really the nature of this one anyway. Right? This one's typically pretty, I won't say not slow, but certainly not fast. I will say if you find yourself kind of moving, right, you kind of end up 3 or 4 inches in front of where you were when you started. It's pretty normal for this particular setup. Okay. So what we're going to do actually is we're going to practice our wide stance inchworms just to kind of get used to that wider stance. So if you yoga mat, you might be wider than the mat. If you're just rolling with a floor, you might not have an issue. I'm going to keep my camera where it is, but I'm going to start standing up. My feet are wide, about as wide as my mat, or a little wider. I'm going to touch the ground in front of me. I can bend my knees, walking out to my push-up position. I'll do my push-up. I can drop my knees for this one, right? My push-up, right? And then walk my hands back to my feet. Standing up is optional, right? But that's going to be our wide stance inchworm. So we've done this a lot. It's just we're taking the feet into a wider position. If that doesn't feel great, you can go back to a good old-fashioned inchworm. Let's try 1 or 2 of these. Right? Just 1 or 2. We'll do a few. We'll do plenty more later. The push-up is more of in this case, the push-up can be used as a workout piece. It also could be used as I would say, an extended warm-up, depending on how you feel about it. So you can assist your push-up heavily. Let's talk about alternating Kossak squats. Let's just start with a big basic air squat first. Feet shoulder to hip width, right? So from my hips down, right? I'm gonna be squatting down. My knees stay in line with my toes. Your depth here is as low as you feel like you can, okay? Safely keeping your toes and heels down, your chest up. And let's do 5 to 10 air squats. So you're just good old fashioned, like regular sit down, stand up. Maybe not. We can substitute the squats out too, Meg, if you need to.
Be mindful and maybe not go as hard,
Yeah.
low
We
as
can
I.
also, if you prefer like a deadlifty shape, we can do some single leg deadlifts instead, or deadlifts. The knees stay a little more, the shin stays more vertical. For those of you who are squatting, we're going to go ahead and practice the Kossak squat without weight. And we'll do about 10 just total. That's 5 per direction. If you find you want to add weight in this, you can kind of add it in a goblet position, kind of holding the weight here, weights on the shoulders, whatever feels good. But we're going to unweighted first. So they want to be clear, depth here, unlike the squats you just did, are less critical. It's more that we want to make sure that I'll show you from the front and the side, but from the front, a wider stance, that my toes are forward-ish. I want to be here, that's okay. And I want to be squatting to my right leg, right? And then coming up and squatting to my left leg. So from the side position, it should look like I'm squatting, right? So if I go to the right, I'm squatting, right? This is gonna be, I mean, it's shallow, don't get me wrong, but I'm not going into the toes or into the heels. I'm balanced through this hip. So ultimately, if you feel like you're a little off balance, a little funny, but let's try 10 alternating. So just side to side. And if that's a hard no, that's fine. Or you hang on to something, maybe a chair or I don't know, something, that's fine.
Can we just make noises?
You can make noises.
You go, see them, fine.
Right. You still want to start with that hip going back, right? So just a little bit of we can load the glute and the hamstring versus kind of just setting that knee forward, which isn't inherently wrong, but I think it's unlikely, but unless you're an athlete who has a overdeveloped hamstring over your quads, I would say then go knee forward first, knee forward-ish. If you're like most people I've met, we're all pretty quad dominant, so the hamstring tends to get left out. Hence the hips going back being the bias. Those are our two things we're going to do today. If you want to add weight to this, like I said, you're more than welcome to grab a weight and carry it near your chest, find your wide stance, doing 1, 2, right, until you get to 20. If 20 is too many, right, because that's going to be a total of, I guess, 60 total or 30 per side in the long run, just reduce that volume altogether. When you're ready, you're welcome to start. So weight or no weight, 20 alternating Cossack squats. And if you need to alternate that or change this into a single leg version, so maybe it's the lateral, it's not feeling great. Everyone here seems okay, but for anyone watching this later, a single leg squat's fine. So maybe we make it a split squat, 10 per leg, you know. Once you've done 20, taking your time through these inchworms. So it'll take a while. That's okay. If the wide stance doesn't feel good, just stick with a good old fashioned, right? Like feet under the hips, more traditional. I would say push up foot width.
Mat width is about as much as I can handle right now.
That's fine. And even if that isn't what you can handle, go to what you normally do, Meg. That's okay. The wide stance is a bonus. It's not necessarily, in this case, going to be something we have to do. We're just kind of re-emphasizing or kind of highlighting the side, the lateral hip glute piece. Same thing with the inchworms, right? You're doing end up being if you do all 10 per set, 3 total sets here, you're doing 30. If that feels like a lot, adjust accordingly to what feels appropriate. Heart rate is going to come up as you do these as well, so it's okay. You start to feel like your heart rate creeps up on you here. I'm a big fan of your bigger room, Joseph. Loving them. How does it feel?
We haven't removed our furniture from our New Year's Eve party, so we
Oh, yeah. I'm sad we missed it, but we were all sick.
The learn
happens every year.
Happy New Year, I know, right? We were all sitting at Nikki and I were sitting at home in the big comfies, and we're just kind of like, well, this is depressing. We're both just like, well, that's sad, and went to bed. What are you gonna do? Beautiful. We're doing that a total of 3 times. So if you've done a set of Kossak squats and Y stand inchworms, you've officially done 1 set. You can rest between movements or after a set, depending on what feels appropriate. And we bumped into Arisa. I know she's working, so you have to unmute yourself. But bumped into Arisa at Ocean Beach. I almost thought, so we didn't tell you this, Risa. I was thinking of, we didn't do this because in retrospect would have been really creepy, but just rolled up behind you, just like while you were like running, and just like in peripheral vision, seeing 2 bikes just like kind of stalk you for a while and being like, who the, I'm like, oh, it's my friends. But
You
we
know,
didn't.
I was like so mentally not observant.
That's fair.
I
Or you wouldn't have
probably
noticed.
would have noticed for like 5 minutes.
I think other people would have been like, can you
Or
stop
like,
harassing this nice lady? Yeah, no, that's fine. Nikki just cut her off with his bike instead. Just rolled in front of her and just stopped her from running. That's so much nicer. But, you know. If these 10 are taking you basically a small eternity, you can reduce the reps between like down to 8, maybe to 5, depending on what feels appropriate for you. But don't feel like you have to fly through these. A little up dog on your push-up is okay. So just kind of hear signs of life. You know what I am excited for is having people to train with this year. I'm doing an event everyone else is doing, which is exciting. I won't be alone. Good. Working through round 2. Some of us are starting round 3. So this is not wrong, Joseph. It's more an observation. You're going knee forward in your squat, which is fine. But if you want more of a hamstring bias, send your hip back a little bit. Yeah, that's all.
Get that booty into it. Oh, sorry, I'm not muted.
I don't know. I feel like that could be like a,
It's a feature.
yeah, could be a tagline.
Get that booty into it.
Maybe that's just like the tag. That's like what you transition into the video. I feel like,
What am I like, Nick Goldston editing the TTL podcast with my little rapid fire booty into it?
have you heard the Matt Stevens Unplugged? I mean, it's not any better. It's pretty good. Like I mean, it's a bit on the nose, but like their audio quality for their song is clearly just like someone just playing with computer noises. Like, I'm using GarageBand very badly. Um, there you go. So I think we're all kind of touching round 3. So some of us are in our Kossak squats, some of us are in our inchworms.
Some of us take forever to do these inchworms.
The inchworms take a long time. Joseph is just weirdly fast at them, which is okay. mean, part of this is walking on your hands forwards, right? If not that we have the room, but if you were to find a wide open space and walk forward on your hands, like they call bear crawling, that's more hip driven because you're propelling yourself forward with your hips, your hands follow. If you were to walk backwards, right, still in kind of a all fours position, your shoulders are now the driver. So that's kind of the forward is going to be kind of hip driven. And then as you walk your hands back post push up, that's going to be more shoulder driven. Right. So it's not quite a bear crawl, but given our individual setups, this is as close as we can get. Okay. Beautiful. Not those inchworms. Let's just keep your ears open, Risa, to kind of finish those off. So part B, right? You can keep rolling, Risa. We're just going to talk about part B in a second. We are going to do single arm floor press from a glute bridge position. If you're lucky enough to have 2 dumbbells or 2 weights of the same weight, oh, hello. I like seeing a little cattail walk by. If we have the privilege of having 2 weights, you can just go ahead and hold the opposite weight in the other hand, right? So sometimes that can be helpful, but it's not. We're still going to keep it on a single arm, 8 to 10 per side. So I'm going to show you what I intended, and then we could talk about scaling if we need to, or changing that up. So I have my weights here. Next to me. Scoot over a second. So ultimately, I guess I can risk taking off my sweatshirt for 5 minutes. So we're gonna be right on our mat here. We're gonna go ahead and sit back. My shoulder blades are back and down. I'm gonna squeeze my butt to lift my hips. And I'm gonna go ahead. My thumbs are back. It could be 45 degrees or almost dumbbell heads touching each other. It doesn't matter. I like 45 degrees. Bring my elbows down, right? Breathe out as I come up, right? So in this case, we're doing single arm. So I'd hold my opposite weight. I do 9, 10, and I can switch. I only have 1 weight. All I have to do is just hold this hand. Look, right? The big thing about the floor press, unlike your push-up, is we're not going to be going into this right natural shoulder shape where we reach forward or reach back. It's all going to be back. So it's going to be here. The chest might pop up a little bit. That's fine. But I don't want anyone reaching for the ceiling when they're laying down. I want you keeping the back of the shoulder on the ground. Okay. The glute bridge is a hard no. Don't do that. That's fine. We're doing 8 to 10 per side, and our side plank rotations. Side plank, right? So we could talk about adapting this if we need to. Bottom knee can be down if we need to make this a little easier, or full side plank. I'm reaching my hand to the ceiling. My hand, my shoulder, my opposite of my elbow are stacked, and I'm going to rotate down without rotating my hip. So I'm not dropping my hip away, right? This is all kind of hitting armpit, lat, right? All this stuff. Or 8 per side there. So let's try. We need to grab some weights. Let's grab some weights. If we find for whatever reason the side plank is not a good option, we could do shoulder taps, right? And just do 16 of those just in a plank position instead. Right, but either way, floor press, shoulder blades are staying together. The glute bridge is optional, gives you a little extra range of motion. Yeah, do your best with that kettlebell, just if it's gonna. Depending on how that feels, Meg, you can go upright on your kettlebell. So make your kettlebell point up.
Yeah.
No? Okay. Okay.
10 per side?
8 to 10, depending. We'll start with 10, especially when you're fresh. And then once you feel like, okay, if that feels good, or you start to fatigue, you can reduce the reps to 8. Still higher volume though. Okay, so rolling over either to potentially a side plank position and doing side plank rotations. If that's a no, we can just do plank position and do alternating shoulder taps. And you can go from your elbow, Meg, if you'd like. And you could do the high plank, but I personally prefer elbow, but that's just me on the plank. That's very much a personal choice. So you can see what feels best to you. That's fine. So we're hopefully feeling this under the armpit, maybe into the lower, into the lat, so towards the side of the body. Right. I'm doing 8 per side. If you're on camera, you can just flip away from the camera. No need to turn all the way around to face the same direction. Also, there are other ways to accomplish this as well. So if you find where we can adjust this movement to
What
work.
was this total?
3 rounds total. 3 rounds or sets, however you think about it.
Yeah, so currently the knee thing is anything that like hyperextends the knee and then back, it pops. So planks down, like doing yoga yesterday, I just had to like be like, okay, keep that knee soft because yeah. But
Yeah. Okay, great. So
that was fine, especially if I can keep the lower knee down on those planks.
yeah. And that honestly would even apply if someone's like, hey, I just have trouble holding a side plank. I mean, like, can't stop.
That like plank, it's like of all the things to actually hurt, plank, stupid one, but hey. It's temporary.
It's temporary. I swear. Nice. If you're able to have 2 weights, go ahead and make sure that arm that you're not working stays locked out. You'll often probably find it starts to want to bend because it wants to work. So that becomes kind of a motor control drill where if I'm using my right arm, I want to keep my left arm straight. Right. If you're having, everything seems good here, but if you're having trouble with an empty hand in that single arm floor press, go ahead and just grab another object. That could be a water bottle, that could be a ball, just like flex that hand and that can feel less empty, depending on how that feels. Nice. So the reach should, you're probably imagining reaching through the other side of your body. You're probably not going to get that far. That's okay. And y'all doing great, but if you want to rest between, especially single arm or single sided movements, resting between sides, resting between movements, or resting fully between sets, excuse me, hiccups, that is okay. If you have the option of ascending in weight, which I know not all of us have, resting up to at least a minute between sets is still, we're still in, if I remember correctly, still in hypertrophy territory. So if you're lifting properly heavy, which if that's not the case for some of us, we're resting up to like 2 minutes, 3 minutes. So just let your nervous system relax. It's like resting between intervals. You have to let your nervous system relax before you do that all over again. Nice work. Side plank rotations can be done weighted. That being said, the weight here would probably be on the light side. But I think doing them unweighted first is a good place to start from.
We call it January weight.
Yeah. Those are adorable, Risa. They also match your shirt. I'm not sure if you noticed. It matches your logo. Beautiful. Looking at this workout occurs to me we're not going to see Maxine for a long time. It's a lot of floor work. We're not going to see her lovely face for a while. That's okay. Once you completed 3 sets, 3 rounds.
Okay.
Looks like we're getting there. Arisa's kind of Arisa and Maxine are finishing up here, or so we'll give them a chance to do so. Yes, yay! Bing.
All right.
Right. Just a quick. I'm just curious for those of you present. How many of you this is for strength workout back in general? Like you don't do it on your own. Everyone else on their own. Cool. Big fan. All right. So it's not completely. Well, I say that because if you took weeks off and you're like away and not lifting and all that good stuff, we're gonna go ahead and finish off with some 30 seconds of work, 30 seconds of rest. So your 3 movements are as follows. We have alternating V-ups. These could be dead bugs if lifting up the neck and the shoulder are kind of rough. These can also be full-on V-ups, by the way. So I'm going to demonstrate both those things, but I have them written as alternating. So opposite arm, opposite leg. Supermans and hollow holds. So we have alternating V-up is going to be, I'm laying down, my butt squeezed. I'm going to reach my right hand to my left foot. 1, 2, right? Until 30 seconds is up. If I want to do 2 feet, pray for me. Let's see what happens here. There's your 1 V-up, right? 2, right? So forth. That's just the harder version. If we rewind, it could even be touch the heel as opposed to the toe if you can't touch your feet. It could be a heel touch, right? Or good old fashioned dead bug. If the lifting up the shoulders is a problem, you can be here and either opposite or same side. Right. So if you do same side, just go ahead and make sure you switch. So those are your options for movement 1. Supermans, you're going to go belly down, face up. You're going to reach, all right? My toes are together. My thumbs are up. My head is down. I'm going to reach either hands or hands and feet if you squeeze your butt. Right? Right. So it's about length and height. And then we have a hollow hold. So we're back on our back. All right. We're just going to hold basically the starting position of your V-up. So either full extending arms, legs, right? Maybe knee in, hands down, but low back. There, this is still a hollow hold. I'm just tucked and holding, right? So all of the above work just fine. Again, a dead bug hold can work here for anyone dealing with some neck and shoulder issues. Any questions on what I just went over?
So we just rotate between the 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off.
Correct. And I'll call it out and I'll make sure that you know which one's happening. And that's just going to be one of those. We're going to do, I would say, I have written down and I'm open to, this sort of, we'll see what the majority says, / anyone who wants to do more, that's fine. But 4 to 5 rounds of this, right? Of each movement. But we'll kind of see what people are up for. Or if they're just completely toast. And if you're toast, you can just tap out. But I had kind of 4 to 5 rounds in mind. So we'll check in at round 4. See what's going on. Okay. I'll give you, right, go, rest, and remind you the movements we're doing. If you're ready, go ahead and lay on down, which don't say very often. You're gonna start in 3, 2, 1, and go. It's okay to start with one scale and move to another. If you're doing the alternating, it's opposite arm, opposite leg. If you're doing the full-on V-up, you can stick with that. 2, 1, and rest. You can just lay down to rest if you like, or roll onto your belly. Doesn't matter. You have plenty of time. With this, Supermans, keep the toes together, squeeze your butt, and your hands can be as wide as any, but the elbow straight, thumbs up. You still have 10 seconds, so you can rest here. We're starting in 3, 2, 1, and go. Good. If you need to just lift the upper body as well, that might be a bit more of a back exercise, by the way. So you're gonna go up and down. So you're gonna toes down, hands down, and back up. Unless you want to do isometric hold, which is fine. Just it's a long hold. Right? So down and up, unless an isometric hold feels like a better option. Good. We're just resting in 3, 2, 1, and rest. Good. Good. 15 seconds. We're going to do a hollow hold next. So just kind of starting our hold in 3, 2, 1, and go. With the hollow hold, adjust accordingly. And if you need to, you can obviously rest. Take a break within that hold position. If the low back comes off the ground, you feel in your hip flexors, just bring the leg in to your body. Resting in 3, 2, 1, rest. Good. That's right. We'll check in at the end of rounds. We'll see how you feel at the end of round 3. See what's going on there. We're back to our alternating V-ups. 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and go. Nice work. Three, 2, 1, rest. Excellent. Spend as much time as you want facing belly up or laying down, and then I can give you a warning to turn over. It's like how they used to in Hawaii on the radio, the beach. All right, my friends, we start in 8 seconds. I know it's weirdly specific. Starting in 3, 2, 1, and go. Do those toes together for me if you can on the Superman. So toes touching. Squeezed. If that's a no on the knee, Meg, that's fine. Everyone else.
Okay, it's good.
Yeah. Little extension reaching the upper back and the head towards the ceiling as much as you can. Good. Resting in 3, 2, and 1. Rest. That's however it feels comfortable. Belly down's fine. If you don't like that, you can just roll over. man, I love it. Excellent. We have 10 seconds, so we start again. 3, 2, 1. Going to a hollow hold. So you start with a little jelly bean, tuck the hips, tuck the knees to your chest, head up, and then you could then slowly open up to whatever feels like it makes sense for you. Just doing a hold here. So you feel this in your low back, and your flexors just become more compact. 3, 2, 1, rest. Good. We're starting round 3, and then we'll basically after this round, you can decide if you want to do one more. It's not wrong if you don't choose to keep going. 3, 2, 1, and go. Work. Basically, go ahead and rest. You can bend your knee if you want to, Risa. Right? Like you don't have to reach for your toes. Yeah, so you kind of reach for your heel versus your extended belly. But we're resting right now. All right, my friends, you have 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and go. Rather than hold, isometric hold. You're doing a hold, just make sure you're breathing. No breath holds, please. Or moving through that Superman shape, going up and down. 3, 2, 1, and rest. I feel like you should like draw a chalk line around you, like the old murder mysteries.
Cause I did.
Yeah, but like pretend dead, you know?
Yes. Oh.
Your third set of hollow holds, and then you can kind of decide what's going on. You're gonna do 2, 1, go. Just kind of holding here. It's okay for kind of in a tucked shape. Same thing with any kind of isometric hold. Make sure you're breathing. Even if you're labored, that's fine. 5, 3, 2, 1, and round 3. I had 4 written, but that was kind of a guesstimation. So if you're up for 4, join us for 4. If you're toast, just I got thumbs up from Marisa. You just lay down and hang out for a minute and a half, or sorry, 3 minutes. All right, y'all. Those.
4, but not 5.
Yeah, we can do. We'll stop at 4. 3, 2, 1, and go. If you're a gymnast, Meg, you'd have to not change your face when doing this. Pretend like it's pretend like it's like it's nothing. But we're not gymnasts, so we can make as much of a grunty face as we want. 3, 2, 1, rest. That was your final set of reps of some kind.
the hardest part for me is not the face, it's the freaking single arm. It's like, because both my arms want to go.
So two, that's fine if you want both arms to go. That's not against the rules.
But like trying to be like, okay, only opposite arm. It's like, no, both arms go.
Yeah, it's hard. 2, 1, and go. Yeah, that's just on. Yeah, that's just a brain exercise at that point. That's okay though.
Yes.
All right, y'all. Resting in 5, 3, 2, 1, and rest.
Thing. Oh yeah.
Final. Well, I guess it's a hold, really. Kind of anticlimactic way to end a workout, but that's okay. Final hold. In 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and go. Same thing. Keep those toes together for me. Oh, even if the knees are bent, that's okay. Nice work, y'all. Breathing. This is your final 10 seconds. Ooh, rest forever. I hope everyone's okay. Go ahead, rest. That wasn't me. Everyone okay? Whoever that was.
I have no idea.
A big thud. Was that
Joseph,
in your house?
is that Maxine's like garage falling apart?
Something's falling apart. It's not me.
No,
Okay.
me.
At least that
Well, if everyone's okay, we're good.
there's no blood. There's
Yeah, we're all good.
no
No
broken.
one's screaming? No, we're okay.
It's not me. Okay.
Head for go. And I'd like to point out we have 6 minutes to spare, which would have been our normal coffee talk. So I think that's probably
Wow.
came from. Let's end on a positive. Let's go with something you're looking forward to. That could be later today, or something in the near future. I'm looking forward to breakfast. I know, what can I say? Very immediate, but that's what I'm looking forward to. Maxine,
Yeah, same breakfast.
breakfast.
Some dental work done today, so I'm not excited about that. But I can be excited about breakfast.
You eat some at breakfast. Yeah.
And maybe
Well,
probably a nice coffee afterwards. Yeah, that's what I'll do.
there we go.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Elizabeth.
Oh, that's me. I'm cooking for Cirque's Lunar New Year swim for the 3rd time. So it'll be about 100 people.
Wow.
So rinse and repeat. Hopefully I have it really nailed down this time.
What are you making?
I make the same thing I've made for the last 3 swims I've cooked for. So I make pho.
Oh,
I'm probably taking a half day the Friday before and then making the broth.
Yeah.
And then I actually have a concert in Oakland, and then I come back and they wake up Saturday morning and then I serve 100 people.
when is the swim?
It's Saturday, February 1st.
Okay, so a little past the Lunar New Year, right? Like a
Yeah.
little- a couple days after.
It's
That's fair.
close enough.
Close enough. No, that's fair. It's still in the spirit of Lunar New Year. That's cool. Cooking for large parties is hard. At least I find it hard. Like that's challenging. And
The
pho is a
trick
great like
turn everything into an assembly line and give everybody a single task.
yeah, I don't delegate well, so that's probably why I don't succeed at large.
Literally went to grad school for it, but anyhow, I'll popcorn.
Very cool. Coach Meg, what are you looking forward to?
I have a vein ablation today, and I'm looking forward to these
things being finished. I have 3 more to do. Today is number 3. 2 down.
Halfway.
They're just a pain. They're not, I mean, yeah, they're not awful. They're just a pain.
Yeah. Anything that just kind of like, it's annoying. I can understand. It sounds annoying, I should say.
Like
Wow.
24 hours of doing nothing, then easing back in, then you actually get 1 day of actual exercise, then I get it done again. So it's like,
Ugh, yeah.
it's
That's a
like
roller
coffee
coaster ride.
limitations and all sorts of shit. And it's not it's not super painful. It's just super uncomfortable when they do it. So we'll see.
Yeah, that sounds annoying even with that cadence is annoying.
So the funny thing is the doctor, this is a funny one. She's like, you need more lidocaine? I thought you were an endurance athlete. I'm like, endurance athletes don't necessarily train for getting big ass needles shoved in them. I was like, you want to hit me or push me or make me run for an hour? Fine. And I was like, but needles, give me all the lidocaine.
I don't mind some pain meds. I don't know. I'm not totally opposed. Just saying. Arisa.
Oh, I was gonna say I'm also team breakfast. Yeah.
Eating breakfast.
Yeah. But I think I've said this already, but I get my teeth drilled without anesthesia.
What?
I get
Yeah.
cavities filled and I'm like, just go for it. Have a good, yep.
With nothing?
Yeah. You know why? Because I want to eat afterwards.
Oh
That's
my
the reason I get my teeth drilled without anesthesia. I want to get dim sum when you can't eat dim sum when you're like ugh.
You
Oh.
have to wait 3
So,
hours, 5 hours, and yeah.
I mean, I didn't have that many. It wasn't that bad. But I try to take care of my teeth now as an adult.
Yeah.
Friends, we are 2 minutes early. I'm gonna let you have 2 minutes on your day to get breakfast, whatever you like to do. It was good to see all of you, and I look forward to seeing you next week. I hope.
Yay.
Bye, y'all.
Maxine,
Bye.
you
Bye.
Bye.
need more coffee. So you have extra coffee. Bye.